What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of The Horror Bin. I'm your host, Julian Fernandez. Welcome to the show where we give you our ratings, reviews, and talk about everything to do with horror and the horror genre in general. Today with me, I have a very funny comedian with a new special out on YouTube. YouTube? No.
No, it's on Prime Video and Apple TV right now. You can buy it on YouTube.
Oh,
but
cool.
For right now, it's purchasable. It's in a transactional window.
You gotta make that money somehow.
I got to.
And if you guys are gonna give the money, make the check out to Alex Hooper.
Yeah, exactly. So rent it or buy it. It's worth it. I wouldn't have put it out if I didn't think it was great.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm sure. It's amazing. Guys, give it a shot. And we'll talk about it more before we close out the show. But Alex, thank you so much for being on. Really appreciate it. Before we jump into the movie that we're pulling out of the bin, what's your experience with horror in terms of like just the movies or any general interest into it?
So the real world is very scary,
Of
and I
course.
think we need to escape. Now, I grew up loving horror movies. So I had like a classic video store that I would go to, like a local one, not a Blockbuster, and I raided their horror and their comedy section every single weekend. I would rent one of each, and I would just go down the line. So especially if I'd never heard of it before, I mean, there are still so many things that like are lodged in my brain. But from an early age, I was watching stuff that I shouldn't have been. Like I remember my mom wouldn't let me watch The Simpsons.
Oh,
but
same.
I was allowed to watch Tales from the Crypt.
Wild.
Insane, right? Like there's tits, there's cussing, there's terrifying things. Doesn't matter. Like she's like, this is fine. And then she sees The Simpsons and she goes, they just don't like each other very much. I was like, no.
It's not a good example of a healthy family.
I guess not. But you know what? The Crypt Keeper,
Yeah.
I was so afraid of the Crypt Keeper that I had a picture of him above my bed that I would sleep the wrong way in the bed so my face wouldn't be near it. And you're probably thinking, well, why did you hang it up there?
Yeah.
I don't know. Something about me just loves cruelty toward myself.
Yeah.
There's some kind of schadenfreude that like in me that's just like, oh, is this going to make you miserable and terrified? Then sleep next to it. And I don't know. But yeah, so I'm I love horror movies. I don't catch all of the modern ones that come out, but I mean, I try to, if somebody tells me, hey, this one's worth it, I usually watch it.
Fantastic. Is there a particular? I know we're due for another episode. We're talking about a specific genre of horror, but is there maybe even that one, or is there another genre that you kind of lean more towards?
I mean, I definitely, if there is a oversized animal killing people, I'm just all about it. Like, it doesn't matter how cheesy or campy it is. Like, Eight-Legged Freaks, terrible. Like, by so many different things you could judge it by. I fucking love it.
But I don't remember seeing it, but I remember the trailers and I remember just being like, no. As a kid being like, no.
Oh, see, here's the thing. It's got the three things that I love in a horror movie, okay? It's got a woman, a really hot woman doing a job that a hot woman would never be doing. In this case, small town sheriff. It's got a black guy with dreads, because I just think that makes every horror movie better, because you gotta know, maybe that's a part of my youth that I was just like, I just want to see a black guy with dreads in there. And then the third one is you have to state the name of the movie within the movie. And there's the classic line of David Arquette saying, "Get back, you eight-legged freaks!" And I remember standing up in my couch being like, yes, give it to me. I want it.
Hell yeah, dude. We're definitely talking about creature features very soon as well. Today though, we did bring in a classic slasher movie, 1997's I Know What You Did Last Summer. Before we get into the trailer, is there a particular reason why you wanted to talk about this movie, or why you wanted to bring this one in?
They're making a new one.
That is true, yeah.
So it's just kind of been on my mind. I followed Jennifer Love Hewitt on Instagram. That started a few months ago. I was like, oh, she has an Instagram? Like the love of my childhood life, the person that I was more obsessed with than anybody ever.
Yeah.
And so I used to watch this movie a lot, and I hadn't revisited it in a long time. I watched both of them because the second one I still know.
Yeah.
Which honestly, part of me like still has like love for that movie because of Jack Black.
That's
being
right.
in it.
He's in it.
Dude, he's the stoner guy on the island that gets
And he has
killed with his
dreads
own
too,
bong.
right?
Yes, he does have dreads. Now he's a white guy with dreads, but there's a part where he gets stabbed with his own bong and he says like, "Not chill, bro." Like it's something like just so terrible.
Classic Jack Black.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that kind of shit.
Oh,
So my wife and I told my wife, I was like, I gotta watch I Know What You Did Last Summer. She goes, I'll watch that with you. I haven't seen that movie in years. We both kind of sat there like, all right, here we go, strap in. And I don't want to give too much away about what we thought of it, but yeah, that's why I chose it.
Fantastic. Well, before we get into everything, as always, guys, spoilers ahead. But as we get into this, as we're talking about it, let's take a look at the trailer.
So the boy and girl are making out, right? When they hear over the radio that this lunatic killer's escaped from an insane asylum.
That's not the way it goes.
And like probably one of the
boy goes for
like
help,
just
and the girl stays in the
classic
corner and
beat
hears
for beat.
like
This is a
scratching sound.
slasher from beginning to end.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
exactly how it should be and how it is. You know.
Yeah, some foreshadowing happening.
Oh my God.
You think he's dead?
We can't just leave him here.
Oh, tell me, little Miss Prelaw, what's the charge for manslaughter?
So four juggernauts of the teenage years.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is no simple task.
And people who have honestly not lost it.
Yeah.
They could still get it from anyone and everyone.
Secrets stay buried.
Oh, and it's got the classic Don LaFontaine. Is that him?
Someone knows.
I know what you did last
Some
summer.
secrets don't stay buried.
Yeah.
Love it.
Toast to us.
Is becoming a dead end.
Somebody tried to kill you last night. We have to go to the police.
If he wanted me dead, he could have done it.
And the mistake they made
It was an accident.
There was no accident. It was murder.
What if he's still alive? Hey! What are you doing here?
is
And
coming
Heche.
back to
Yeah.
haunt them.
Oh my God.
He's after me, too. I got a letter. I got run over. Helen gets her hair chopped off. Julie gets a body in a truck, and you get a letter? That's balanced.
She's waiting for us to unravel. The wait is over. What are you waiting for?
Classic.
What are you waiting for?
I used to have a bit that ended on that line.
Yeah. The music.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Oh
That
my
song was
god.
everywhere. Who is that, Belly, I think? Hush. I love it because the trailer's actually campier than the movie.
100%. Yeah.
What you did last summer.
Great way to end a trailer right there with that gas. Like I said, I Know What You Did Last Summer, 1997, rated R. For those that don't know, four young friends bound by a tragic accident are reunited when they find themselves being stalked by a hook-wielding maniac in their small seaside town. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, indeed.
Jim Gillespie is director, Kevin Williamson and Lewis Duncan are the writers. And like we said, the four powerhouses of the 90s, not only just for horror, I think, for this, but just teen drama in general.
Yeah. Now, maybe you know this because my wife said
Mm-hmm.
this last night. Did Kevin Williamson also write Scream? Or do you have something to do with it? Or I think he
feel
wrote
like-
Dawson's Creek. That's
I feel
what
like
she said.
he did do something because I remember. Yes, he did.
Okay, so
writer
if
of
you, if you
Scream.
wrote Scream and then I Know What You Did Last Summer, you were
Mm-hmm.
wild in the late 90s.
Yeah, Scream came out in 1996. Scream 2, 1997, which he also wrote. And he also wrote on Vampire Diaries. Seems about right.
Yeah.
If anything, slashers are like the WB's blueprint for like, how do we make drama for teens?
Right, and then of course they see Sarah Michelle Gellar and they're like, a vampire slayer maybe? Is there something we could do with that?
There we go. Seaside town, why? But with full of just the hottest people on earth? Of course.
I know. You know what kills me, by the way? So her sister is Bridget Wilson, who I loved when I was a kid. That's
Yeah.
Veronica Vaughn in Billy Madison.
Oh, yeah. That
Sonya
Veronica
Blade.
Vaughn.
That's it. Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat. I loved Bridget Wilson.
Yeah.
And they make her just like the snobby older sister
Yeah.
and like pretend that she's not one of the hottest people in the world.
But Alex, they put a pair of glasses on her.
Exactly. Yeah. Hair goes into a ponytail, glasses on.
Muted tones that she's wearing.
Yep. Oh, you're just a bitchy store owner.
But yeah, Jennifer Love Hewitt is our lead character, Julie James, great alliteration.
Oh, great name.
Sarah Michelle Gellar as Helen. Anne Heche is in this as Melissa Egan. Ryan Phillippe, Freddie Prinze Jr., Johnny Galecki is in this,
Yeah.
which I completely forgot.
I forgot that too.
When he showed up, I'm like, holy, what the fuck?
Yeah. What's going on,
then-
Max?
Yeah, and Bridget Wilson, as previously stated, just powerhouses, just rounding this whole cast out. When was the first time? Because you said you had seen this like multiple times. When was the first? Did you see this in theaters or did you see it?
I probably did. I mean, anything Jennifer Love Hewitt was a part of at all, that was my number one childhood crush. Like, I mean, I loved her so much. Everything she did, starting in Sister Act 2, going forward to like Can't Hardly Wait. I Know What You Did Last Summer, which I think are probably in the same year or back-to-back years.
Probably.
But either way, I mean, Jennifer Love Hewitt was everything to me, so I would watch anything she did.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, also, this movie came out in 1997. I was 12. Shut up, audience. I was 12. And, of course, this is the kind of movie I want to see.
I was gonna say my age, but you know, I don't know. I don't want to. You
I know
already,
you're much younger
you already
than me.
apologized to the audience. I don't want you to,
I
feel worse.
Trust me, Jules, I know. Like, I always say, I look like I was about to teleport and a pug walked into the chamber at the exact moment. And I'm just like, uh-oh.
Hey, you know what, Alex? You want to write that movie, The Fly, but with pugs?
I mean, come on.
Talk about an adorable monster. you know?
Yeah. Call myself a little Hooper pug instead of a Brundlefly. Here we go.
What's that sound?
Kevin Williamson, if you're still out there, we have a movie to write.
We have an idea for you. Looking back on it, because this is one of those movies where, as much as I don't even want to say I claim, but as much as I value my love of horror, there are a lot of classics that admittedly, like, I either haven't seen, just haven't gone around to, or I did see, but it's been years. And this is definitely one of those ones where I'm like, I'm not sure if I remember seeing it or if I ever saw it at all. Looking back, for you at least, how do you feel watching it nowadays, especially with like so much different horror that we have nowadays, and looking back at this, like, it's a quintessential slasher film from the 90s.
It is. I mean, I think they were really going with that kind of like 70s and 80s trope. Like, you know, there's the scene when Sarah Michelle Gellar's getting chased and he's just walking after her very casually, but managing to stay up. There was a lot of, I don't know, I wasn't ever scared. There are a lot of horror movies where I think the tension really builds and you're like, I don't really know what's happening here. Like, I remember the first time I saw The Babadook, I spent 2 hours going like, like just waiting for something, you know? Like, it's all those jump scares. This one didn't really do anything like that for me, but I do think they approached it well. Like, they take a while before they get to the first real kill.
Yeah.
They do kind of build up the story a lot. They introduce you to the characters. Everyone is a trope, obviously, themselves.
Yeah.
They got the teenage beauty queen. You got the high school
Little jock,
quarterback.
the nerd,
Right, of course. Yeah.
The poor kid who's in with the rich kids.
Yeah, all the things are happening. And I was entertained, but I definitely, like, if I saw that today, I'd be like, that shit sucks. If it was like the first time I ever saw it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nostalgia that for me was just like, oh yeah, this.
Yeah, looking back at it, it is one of those things where I can watch it and I can appreciate it, but I can definitely feel like, man, if I watched it at the time or even just around that era, that 5-year era after that, I'd be like, oh, this is great. This is like quintessential horror right here.
Yeah.
Looking back at it now, I'm like, for me, I can follow the map along as to what's gonna happen, what's gonna this and that. And you're right. There wasn't really like that much like tension building, and even when there were like kills or even attacks or whatever. There wasn't really a moment where you even felt like that should be the scary part. That's right there. There it is. There was a lot of it where I'm like, I can see it coming, and part of it because I could not for the life of me get out of my head the parody version from Scary Movie.
Oh yeah, sure.
There was so much that like that movie has ruined a few horror movies for me.
Definitely.
To where like now I'm watching like when he's outside the sunroof, he's like, yeah. I'm like, wait, where's the beehive that hits his head and stuck on top and everything?
Oh, I mean, Scary Movie 1 and 2, brilliant,
Great.
brilliant films.
Another franchise that's coming back with the original writers.
No shit.
Wayne's brothers are coming back to make another one.
Cool.
And
Great.
I'm crossing my fingers, hoping the best for all of them.
I'm excited to see what they use.
Yeah.
You know, because
From the poster, it looks like their first thing is Midsommar.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, you even said it like Midsommar.
Midsommar.
I just call it Midsummer.
Listen, I get my wording down.
Yeah, seriously.
It is interesting. I am interested to see, within regards to Rotten Tomatoes, that we have like a 48% on this and a 41% for the audience score.
Okay.
I'm wondering if that was the case at the time, or if this is a percentage that is accumulated, and is like now current. But I feel like this should be of the time.
Yeah, I think at the time, I mean, everyone who was watching movies and TV at this point knew who these people were.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so I think there is some sort of, there's a built-in like, well, we enjoy this because of who we're watching on screen. If these, I said this to my wife last night, if these were 4 nobody actors that you didn't know, you'd be like, this movie is lame as fuck.
Yeah.
But there's something about it that you just, these are these teenage heartthrobs, these people that we've grown to love, and because they're in this situation, it just makes it that much better.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what the part of me where I can still look at this Jennifer Love Hewitt as when I was a 12-year-old boy and I just fantasized about like how perfect she was and everything.
Yeah.
And I can still see it in that way, but I definitely like, if you just showed me this movie today and I knew nothing about it, I would be pretty bored. Overall, I understand that 41% score.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot of unexplained things. Like, I mean, like there's a scene when Julie opens her trunk and Max is in there and the crabs are crawling all over him. She goes inside for like 2 minutes. It's broad daylight in the middle of a suburban street.
And it's not even a few crabs. It's a trunk load of crabs.
It's a lot of crabs. I'm from Baltimore and I've never seen that many crabs. I've been to Diddy party and I didn't see that many crabs. So many crabs all over Johnny Galecki's dead body. Which, by the way, I kept saying, well, that's what you get for being a rapist. And then my wife went, why do you keep saying that? And I went, oh, that's Danny Masterson that I'm thinking of. Wrong person.
To
Sorry.
the Galecki family, we apologize.
My apologize, Galecki. Great job on Big Bang Theory. Never seen an episode.
Yeah. But you made that money.
Yeah. But then all of a sudden, so this guy got rid of a body in the
Yeah.
broad daylight in the middle of a street. He got it in a trunk and then was just following her around to remove it.
Which I'm also like, cause she hears like scratching. Like what causes her to check the trunk is she's driving, she's hearing like some scratching, some like something going on. I'm surprised she's not smelling anything.
Yeah.
Because it's not like he's refrigerated, and even if like, oh, he drowned him or put him in water or anything like that, he's still gonna make a smell. Like a dead body's gonna make a smell no matter what.
Yeah, plus the crabs would probably have some Old Bay on top of them. You know, there's going to be some sort of scent that's going.
And I agree. That's like one of those things. We just finished the original Scream trilogy, and it is one of those things where you kind of just have to like suspension of disbelief, just kind of put it into the like that's just slasher magic.
It is
that they're able to do a cleanup job impossibly well.
Yeah,
quick.
Just
because there's even the part where he kills Ryan Phillippe, and you know she's Sarah Michelle Gellar's being, you know, like trying to be like, hey, somebody get up there, somebody help him.
hysterical woman.
I didn't want to say it.
That's what it is. Come on.
This hysterical broad over here.
Just turn around.
ruining the beauty pageant. We're trying to look at all these preteens and judge them. Everyone's like, get back up there, woman. Because even the cop comes in and is like, what's the problem? She's killing him. She's like, let's go up. And they walk up. I'm like, there's no urgency. There's no urgency. As soon as someone's like, all right, we'll check it out. All right, let's casually stroll up there. You want to grab some ice cream first? Like, but he gets up there. He does like a 1-2. There's nothing here. And as soon as they walk out, there's like enough blood on the banister to have a visual drip.
Right.
That I'm like, the cops in every horror movie are the worst.
I know.
They're not any better in real life, but I mean, they're.
Yeah, I was going to say, just in movies?
But in movies, wow, we really up the the inability. In terms of like kills, because we don't have a ton.
No, there's probably like, what, 6 or so?
Because we get Ryan Phillippe, we get Sarah Michelle Gellar, the sister.
Which, by the way, can I tell you something? So I saw this in a whole new light last night.
Oh, really?
Because so there's the scene when when Sarah Michelle Gellar comes into her own house and she's like, "Hey, Dad, how you doing?" And he's watching a baseball game, drinking a whiskey, pays no attention whatsoever. Okay,
Yeah.
this man is dead inside.
Oh yeah.
Then both of his daughters get killed within 5 minutes of each other in his store that he built like many years ago that now his daughters are running.
Yeah.
I was like, man, if this guy was an alcoholic before, wait till you see what happens now.
He's dead.
He's about to shut the fuck in and just
How
like.
he's not the next killer in the sequel is amazing.
Yes, that's what I was thinking about as someone who's like, where my wife and I are like trying to start a family, and I'm just like, now this is the saddest part of this movie. Like that's where I go.
Yeah.
Like poor dad.
Did the counting in my head. There's about 5 kills. We got the Ryan Phillippe, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Galecki, the cop, and the sister, Bridget Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's it. And we could also probably add in David Egan too, but we never see him as on-screen death.
That's not on-screen.
And same thing with even like the actual killer, Willis. We see him die or whatever, or defeated. But
okay, you must have thought this too, because I haven't watched this movie in so many years. When you see him on the boat, doesn't he look just like Ernest?
Oh yeah,
he's wearing the exact same outfit that Ernest P. Worrell.
You just want him to come out here and just be like, "I'm here to kill you with a hook and a dream."
I was waiting for him to hook somebody and go, It was so earnest.
But I was also trying to figure out, because it's Muse Watson that plays him, and I was like, for the life of me, because I did have like that feeling of just like, he looks familiar. And when you brought up Ernest, this is like, oh yeah, that's one. But then I'm looking at his current photo right now, and I realized he's from Prison Break.
I never watched that show.
I used to be the first couple of seasons, I was obsessed, and he was he plays this character who, like, the main character is like, "You're DB Cooper," and he's like, "I'm not." And then when they actually escape, he's like, "I am. Here's the money. Go find it." It's really stupid. But yeah, like, for same thing, like, for the life of me, I was like looking at him, I was like, why does this guy look so familiar? It's such a familiar face. His voice is kind of familiar. And then just right now, just looking at him, just like, that's what it is. This guy, I remember this guy from TV. He had a cat in prison.
Yeah, okay. I gotta say, like, I got nothing against the writing of all of this. Like them sitting on the beach, trying to all tell their own version of the tale of the hook from the classic urban legend, and the way that they kind of approach this, the throwing off of, you think, oh, she thinks it's David Egan, then it turns out no, this is actually the girl's father who had just murdered David Egan. Like, there are some like nice little twists in there in the predictability factor that I wouldn't have, that for a movie like this is better than expected.
Yes. And then I do like that Kevin Williamson, I don't know if maybe this was his thinking. This is how I'm viewing it, because Scream and this are so close together that he does a good job at, like, at him and the director, I'll say, they do a good job at, like, limiting how much we see Freddie Prinze Jr. And we don't, unlike Scream, where Billy and even Stu are just oozing suspicion on themselves. Freddie Prinze Jr., it's more of just like, it's like a light, like just sprinkling of suspicion. But then we have that this is where it kind of like throws me off and kind of makes me being like, wait, what? She has that realization and just like, oh, it's not David. Oh, let me research. She survived by her dad. It's got to be him. She goes to Freddie Prinze Jr.'s boat, realizes like, oh, Billy Blue is the name of his boat. He went to go visit Egan's sister, this and that. And then she starts concluding like, oh, you must be the killer. And it's just, you just did all this research that made so much sense. Why are we pivoting now?
Right. I mean, anything to just throw you off a little bit. I'll tell you, like,
and I guess in the thralls of this terrifying situation, I'm sure like you're not entirely thinking straight.
No,
thinking logically.
I mean, if somebody is actively trying to murder me, they know where I live. They've attacked all of my friends. They're leaving bodies in the trunk of my car. Maybe my delusion is just a little warranted in this case. You know, maybe I'm gonna go accuse this person and immediately accuse this person and forget everything I just learned.
Yeah. I mean, we see Ryan Phillippe go from Max Galecki to straight on to Freddie Prinze Jr. as a suspicion, punching him with his hand that's in a cast. I've never had, luckily never had a broken anything, but I can imagine the last thing you want to do with a broken hand or anything in a cast is use that to punch somebody.
It depends. I've broken my wrist and that thing was pretty stiff.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, I mean, I was like 15 or something like that. And I definitely could have clocked some motherfuckers. I'm not a violent person, but like, I can see it. Like, you're like, oh, I have a weapon on me right now. This thing is hard. I'm like, this is way
you want
better
to break through this, you need a chainsaw.
Goddamn right, dude. Break out those medical scissors.
From the 5 kills that we get in the movie, is there a particular one that stands out to you? I'll be more specific about it, or be more broad about it. Not so much just the kill itself, but even maybe the stalking or the lead up to the kill.
I think if I had to choose one, so I like that. I think I like the Sarah Michelle Gellar one.
I'm in the same boat with you. Yeah,
it's the longest time where he's actually like chasing someone down and like moving through the town, and you really think, oh, he got the sister. Shit, he's got her pinned. She jumps out the window. She's going to escape, and then she sees the parade, and then all of a sudden there's this loud marching band going by, and that guy's right in the middle of the tires, and he's ready to go.
Right when she gets that foot away from that finish line, and she's like, let me turn back around. I'm like, you're done.
Yeah, you're done. I like a kill that happens right next to safety.
Ooh,
you know,
yeah.
like I really like. I'm just like, oh, it's right there. There's the light. I'm free, and then boom.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
So close.
Yeah.
Or was it so close yet so far? Yeah. Yeah.
That's the
I
one.
agree. In terms of icon, like in the storyline and even just beat for beat, scene wise, line wise, there's a lot of iconic moments. I will say the killer himself, in the echelon of other like slashers and everything, not as iconic.
No.
In terms of like, I mean, it's not even a raincoat. It's
a slicker.
Fisherman slicker, and then an ice hook, I believe. Yeah, ice hook.
Yeah.
That's where we see it first. But I mean, visually it's iconic. But I mean, you could take him also and put him in, Urban Legend, the movie. You can put him in any other like just generic slasher. So I do like that we go from this with Kevin Williamson to Scream to an even more just iconic look, iconic slasher, iconic everything about it.
Yeah.
But
like
this,
everyone did the Scream mask for a few years. Nobody dressed up as a fisherman.
Nobody was running to get slickers at the Halloween store.
Going to the Army Navy surplus store and be like, "Do you have this fisherman costume?"
Spirit Halloween is still selling the costume. They could not get rid of him fast enough. Before we start wrapping this up, Alex, I mean, I know we kind of talked about it, but on the horror scale, just officially, between 1 and 10, 1 being Hotel Transylvania, 10 being the Terrifier movies, where would you put this on the scary scale of it all?
Like a 4. Like, honestly, it's really more of a thriller that's like, there is horror elements to it, but like, it's not scary, but it is entertaining. And sometimes for a horror movie, that's all you can ask for, because I'm one of those people who most horror movies, very few horror movies ever scare me because they're not. They have to be realistic in some capacity. That's why like monsters and ghouls, zombies, stuff like that shit doesn't scare me. But that's when like even just like a serial killer scares me, but not a serial killer who has an iconic look
Right.
to them.
Would you say like maybe like something more along the lines of like The Strangers?
Yeah.
Because I mean, granted, that is basically based off article and everything and all that.
Right. Like that's
but that is
yeah, that's terrifying to me. Something that could actually happen. I've always said this about Halloween Horror Nights because I used to work at Universal as well.
Yeah.
And Halloween Horror Nights to me, the maze I want to see is like I walk into a maze and I walk in and I'm in a classroom and I'm suddenly really high and I didn't know I had a presentation that day.
Mr. Hooper, where are your pants?
Like that's terrifying. Oh my God. Public speaking and I don't know the topic? Like this is, how do we do this? Or like
today we're talking about nuclear physics.
yeah, like no. I would love to see a Halloween Horror Nights maze that emulates terrifying situations in real life.
That'd be
just
so
like
funny.
just like you have to you have diarrhea and you're stuck on the highway during rush hour. You know, like and you're suddenly in there, just like you can feel your seat squishing underneath you. You have sounds of the belly going.
Oh no! I gotta tell you, I've had that moment very recently where like I'm trying to eat better, which is nice, and go to the restroom, do my business and all that. But there'll be times, especially now that it's getting hotter, that I just get that feeling, just like, what did I do wrong? Like I gotta go to the restroom right now. I can't leave for another 10 minutes. Fuck me.
Yeah, there's times when you got to go just to wipe, not
Yeah.
even to do anything else, and like you're
Time.
just like, hey, I was out there sweating. Swamp ass is real.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And then we did the scary scale. I'm in agreement with you around a 4 or 3. I'm giving it more of that like nostalgic kind of. I'm bumping it up just for the nostalgia factor of it being like, you know what? If this was of the time, if this was brand new ground that they were breaking, I'd probably be higher. But like I said, it is the blueprint for a slasher movie, especially a classic slasher movie. In terms of just movie in general, where would you put it on the same 1 to 10?
I mean, probably around the same.
Around the same, yeah.
But like the thing is younger me when I first saw it would have probably said an 8. You know, my standards were much lower, even though I was watching very advanced things when I was a young child.
Yeah.
But even still, because it was so entertaining, just because I loved these like 4 or 5 people so much in other roles, then I was just like, well, this is great. This is everything I want right now.
Yeah.
Like honestly, the movie could have been Jennifer Love Hewitt gets hit by a bus and spends 2 hours in the ICU, and I would have been like, honestly, this is up there with Schindler's List.
Cinema.
Why is this not winning all the Oscars this year?
It just turned into that meme of Martin Scorsese. This is cinema.
Yeah, exactly.
And then before we wrap everything up and before we get to plugs and all that, when would you recommend someone throw this movie on? Is there a particular marathon or time of day or time of year that you'd watch it?
Well, I mean, I know what you did last summer, right? There is something about where it's just about the end of summer, or I think it was
Fourth of July is
July.
when this all takes place.
So perfect. That's the time to watch it because this happens in chunks, right? There's the incident that starts off the whole thing that happens well before the movie actually happens.
Yeah.
Then 1 year later you have this incident. Then 1 year later you have this incident. So if you're going through a timeline, the 4th of July just seems to make sense.
Okay. Very patriotic horror film.
I think so. Yeah, why not? But without throwing any patriotism into it.
That is true.
4th of July parade, it's all about whatever fish.
That they have
things-
so many
fisherman fish hats
Yeah.
and stuff. In the parade, there's a giant fish. She's in a clamshell.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Straight Little Mermaiding.
That's right. I forgot about how many fish. And the fact that like they're just so cool. Just like, yeah, Ryan Phillip, you can just sit on the float and just roll with us and then
I
just
know.
charge into the crowd.
Dressed
to
like
assault.
absolute shit, by the way. Like wearing a wife beater and just some khaki pants and just looking just like, "Bleh." Why would you want to be a part of this celebration? Who would let you be up there? Come
Right.
on.
Oh my God. But Alex, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for pulling this out of the bin and everything.
Yeah.
You got your camera right here. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, but let the people know where they can find you, what you got going on.
So, hoopercomedy.com. I have a brand new special out right now, everybody. Apple TV, Prime Video. You can buy it a few other places. It's called Brace Yourself. It's all about me just about dying of cancer. Very, very close. And there's a few other topics in there as well, but that's the through line of it. And at Hooper Hairpuff on all social media, everybody. Please follow me on there. I'm pretty silly, pretty fun, usually lighthearted and positive, but my comedy is fucking dark, and that's the way I like it.
Hell yeah,
dark
dude.
and silly.
Dark and silly. Put that on a tombstone, somebody. Well, thank you so much, Alex. You guys can also find me on all the things, Julian F. Comedy, julianfcomedy.com for all show dates and tour dates. Follow this podcast at Horror Bin Pod on all the things. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Let's run over as many potential subscribers. That was a bad one. Nah, I could do better next time. But let's gather a suspect list of subscribers. That's probably better. Yeah. Let's hook some subscribers.
Yeah, look at you finding it.
But yeah, make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Let's build this audience. Let's build this horror fandom. Alex Hooper, thank you so much again for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
get
You know
out of
what?
my house.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Everybody go outside for a minute, A
Yeah,
minute. But
and-
while you're listening to this podcast.
And hopefully when you're out there, you don't see a guy die.
That is true. I didn't even bring that up.
Somebody saw a guy die this morning, and his name was me.
Yeah.
Stay away from Runyon Canyon
Did
for at
he-
least a few hours.
Did he hide the body? We'll find out next year.
P. Did he hide the body?
Ugh.
All right.
But as we say, but thank you again. Thank you guys for listening and watching. And as we say at the end of every episode, I know what you did last summer. Better watch out. Bye.